Welcome back to my channel, and I am so sorry once again for not being consistent at all. I've basically been MIA with trying to finish up second semester of my nursing school program. It has been hectic, to say the least. I feel like it's been a fever dream, but I really wanted to get on here and give you guys an update, basically go over my first year of nursing school. I finished my second semester a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going into my third semester for this summer starting May the 19th. So I'm trying to get ready for that. It's going to be a more fast-paced semester because there's going to be 15 weeks of material squished into 10 weeks. So I'm not looking forward to it on one hand, but then I thrive under pressure. So I'm kind of thinking maybe it'll actually be a good thing to have a lot more material in a shorter amount of time. It'll keep me on my toes. But for now, since I've been absent, I just wanted to get on here and basically go over how my first year of nursing school went. I don't know how I even got here. I feel like I have severe imposter syndrome. I think that's what they call it. I'm still getting used to the fact that I even got into nursing school, and I've already done 2 semesters. So since I'm in an ADN program, I go for 2 years. And then at the end of that 2 years, I'll take my NCLEX and get my RN, and I have 5 semesters. So I did my first semester in the fall of 2024, second semester spring of 2025. Or next spring, I'll be in my 5th semester preparing to graduate and take my NCLEX. And I did do a video on how my first semester went. So if you want to watch that, I'll put this here if I can figure that out. I mean, I'm doing really well academically. That's gone good. I don't know how I'm doing good, and I don't know how I'm doing life right now. It's very hectic. It's doable. It's just tedious, time consuming. And then I've also been really struggling with a lot of personal things, and life has been hitting us from every angle. Almost weekly, there's something new. It's been very, very stressful. That's another reason that I haven't been on here. This past semester was my second semester. It was really the first time I felt like a real nursing student. I had a clinical at a hospital on a med-surg floor. Our clinical instructor basically threw us to the wolves, which I think is really good. I get it. Just in the moment, we were all very like, what's happening? What do we do? It was very overwhelming at first, but you just kind of go with it. You get the hang of things. I was in a hospital doing clinicals once a week from 8 to 3. So that was really fun and interesting. And you're really excited because you're on a medical floor, or you're in the hospital on a med-surg floor, and our clinical instructor would let us go and see procedures if our patient was having a surgery or something like that. The clinical portion of second semester was definitely several notches up in comparison to where I was at first semester. I was in a nursing home, and then this semester was just like full-blown hospital surgeries, OR. So it was really fun. I learned a lot. I definitely had a few nurses that weren't as encouraging. I had one that basically ignored me all day long, and it's very difficult when you're faced with that. You're kind of like, did I do something? Did I say something wrong? I was already feeling very insecure because I was just very overwhelmed. I didn't want to say something that was wrong and look stupid, which it's gonna happen. You're gonna say something wrong more than once, and you have to learn from it. So I got over that relatively quickly. But it was discouraging at times. I think this was my first clinical day, and she was my first nurse. And every time I went into the room and she was in there, I would talk or ask questions, and she would legitimately just ignore me. Wouldn't look at me, wouldn't talk to me, and it was just, I didn't know what I was doing to begin with, so that really kind of crushed my spirit on the first day, but it was fine. I kind of warmed up, but I really noticed I need to work on my clinical skills and my patient and people skills in general. I'm a really strong test taker, and I have those skills down well, and I feel confident in that portion of nursing school. But when it comes to clinicals and the hands-on patient type of things, I really need to get out of my shell more, which I feel like I really have. But I just need to keep working at it. So for the clinical part, that was that. And then this semester I was doing med-surg and pharmacology. First semester I did fundamentals and drug calc, so it was just purely taking drug calculation tests, learning how to do that kind of stuff. And then pharmacology this semester, or my second semester, was learning all the different meds, drug interactions, adverse effects, contraindications, what it's used for. So I did really good with that class. My clinical was paired with my med-surg class, and I didn't have a clinical with pharmacology, so it was just lecture and exams. You just had, with that class, you had to dedicate a good amount of time to studying. And if you did fine. If you didn't, I don't know how people don't study for that class and do well, or don't put in a good amount of time, because it's an insane amount of information and you just have to put in the time. So I did, and I did well, and it went fine. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was, you know, you hear a lot of people say pharmacology is awful and it's the hardest class. And again, I can see why, but I kind of enjoyed learning how the medications worked. It just clicked for me, I guess. And as long as I dedicated enough time to studying for the class, I did fine. And then with med-surg, we had a lecture portion that had exams, and then we had clinical. With clinical, we had to do care plans, and let me tell you, for first semester, our clinical instructor was very flex and flow with our care plans. She wasn't a harsh grader with the care plans. Second semester, our clinical instructor was extremely strict with our care plans, and it kind of threw us, because we went from first semester, a clinical instructor that was very easygoing when it came to the care plans. Second semester, a clinical instructor that was very strict, and these are pretty lengthy care plans. And so it kind of was a learning curve. She was, you know, she gave us a couple weeks to practice and turn in care plans for just to look at and to see if we were doing them correctly. And then after that, if we were making mistakes, she would give us an unmet. I never got an unmet. I don't think anybody there got an unmet, but it was just several steps up clinical-wise compared to first semester. Med-surg and your clinical classes in our program, it's almost like having two classes in one. But overall, I think it was fine. I just don't know how I did it, but I keep doing it, and it's like rinse and repeat. That's what I've kind of told myself. Nursing school is looking like it's a very just long game of rinse and repeat. It's just exhausting. It's tedious, rinsing and repeating and putting in a insane amount of time to study and do clinicals, and we had some papers and all that kind of stuff. So that was, I guess, the most difficult part for me, was not the content, just managing my time with school and life, and then all the extra fun things life decided to throw at us the past 6 months, which has not been fun. And then another thing that we still had this semester that we had last semester were our EAQs and HESI. And the different thing about our EAQs this semester was we had one for our pharmacology class. And first semester, we only had to do an EAQ that was 50 questions once a week for fundamentals. And then second semester, we had to do an EAQ for med-surg that was 75 questions a week. And then an EAQ for pharm that was 25 questions a week. So not bad, but it was just, they're adding more on, and it adds up. I'm still here, so I figured it out somehow. And then we had HESI, and this time I was just done. By the time HESI came around, I was completely burnt out mentally, emotionally, physically, in basically every way. And I didn't study for HESI like at all. I think the day before I did 50 practice questions. I was just kind of winging it. The way our program works, if you get 1,000 or above, you don't have to do any remediation, you don't have to take it again, and it's 100 in the grade book. So I got like 1,008, which is good, but to me it was bad because last semester I got 1,130, I believe. Even though I did good, I went down for what my like baseline is, if that makes sense. I really needed to not study in that time frame. I was really needing to focus on self-care and other family stuff that was going on. So I was okay with that. I accepted it. I just took it. I made a mental note in my brain like, okay, that was good, but clearly you're going down a little bit and you have that room to go down a little bit, you need to watch yourself and not continue to go down. So as far as the classes went, definitely more advanced content and things like that, but overall it went okay. And also our group, we managed to keep the same group from first semester to second semester, and I've made some really good friends, and it's just been really nice getting out and socializing since I was a stay-at-home mom before I went to school. And even when I was doing my prereqs, I did all of my prereqs online, so I still wasn't being social until I actually started the program. I think it has been incredibly beneficial for me. Third semester is going to be insane. It is 15 weeks of material shoved into 10 weeks, so I'm hoping that it just keeps me so busy that I get on the other side kind of like I am right now, and I'm like, I have no clue what happened. It felt like a fever dream, but I'm here. Move on to next semester. So that's really kind of what it's been like school-wise. You get up every day, you know what you got to do, and you do it, and you figure out how to keep going even when life throws you really not great stuff. But I'm still here, and that's all that matters. I definitely understand why nurses say when they get done with school and they get their first job, they feel like they don't know anything, because every time I walk into a clinical, I feel like I have no clue what I'm doing every day, all the time. But I know that I'm a good test taker. I feel like nursing school is all about trying to figure out how to pass nursing school, how to figure out how to get out of nursing school. My biggest struggle while I have been in nursing school has been figuring out how to grocery shop. And I think that's a little out of left field, but for whatever reason, I'm so overwhelmed all the time. I don't have the space in my brain anymore to make that a priority. And so what ends up happening is I'm not grocery shopping, I'm not meal planning, and then we get very low on food or whatever it is, and then now I have to like figure it out quick, and it just always overwhelms me. I'm like, let's just DoorDash something, or let's do this, or let's go out to eat. And clearly that's not great because it's expensive and it adds up. For like a solid year now, cannot get on a good routine of grocery shopping and making meals. I like freeze up when it comes to meal planning. I freeze up almost every single night when it comes time to like make dinner, and I just cannot seem to figure out how to get it together with grocery shopping and meal planning. That's been my weakest area when it comes to being a mom of two, a wife, and being in school, is just figuring out how to keep the house running. So by the time I am halfway through this summer, I will be halfway through nursing school, which is just, it's crazy. And it is going really fast, but at the same time, it's not. Every day is a fever dream at this point. You figure it out, you find your routine, and you wake up and you do it again and again and again, and you rinse and repeat, and you try to figure out ways to deal with the stress of just school in general and life, and then all the extra stuff that can get thrown in there, because it will. Continuing to push through and get through each semester does make me feel really proud of myself because of a lot of the stuff that's going on in the background that I can't really get into. Just knowing that I'm somehow finding a way to get through and finish out strong each semester, take care of my kids, take care of myself, stay alive. It does bring you a little sense of pride, and I know that eventually it will be over with, at least the school part, and I will look back on all of this and hopefully I'll laugh. I don't know. I'll probably need therapy. I want to keep showing you guys how I'm managing. I do intend to upload a couple more videos. One, how I've changed my study habits, then how I'm staying organized when it comes to schedules and all that kind of stuff. If you guys want to see more videos, or if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I really appreciate all the support, all the likes, subscribes, and comments. It has helped my channel out a ton. Please keep a lookout for additional videos coming soon, and I'll see you later. Bye.